I like that picture of what's her name, Vanessa Kirby. Look like she's just like surprised somebody took her photo all of a sudden. What an interesting placement for Sydney Sweeney and Vanessa Kirby in that shot here, considering you have them in front of the characters the other one is going to potentially play.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
did
that
I,
is interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, and by interesting,
Completely baffling.
I mean stupid.
Well,
I mean amazingly
rushing
confusing. Hey, I mean, at least you got David Harbour in front of Frankenstein's creature. If you had put him in front of Jessica Drew, I would have had a few more questions.
Well, if you think that's bad, wait until yeah. Here we go.
And now, the Dorkening proudly presents the Geeks.
Mama always said life was like the midweek geeks. It's that time once again. Everybody kick off shoes, call a friend, come on down, get on in. It's time for the midweek geeks again. I can't believe it's not the midweek geeks. I just love those midweek geeks. There's nothing quite like midweek geeks. Work for me. Somebody hurry. We need the midweek geeks. What's that, boy? The midweek geeks are stuck in the well? The results are in. You are the midweek geeks. Take 2 midweek geeks and call me in the morning. Side effects of the midweek geeks may include laughter as well as knowledge.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for, and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. You are watching Midweek Geeks. My name is Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We have a great show scheduled for you as always. And hey, Brandon, you're here.
Yes, I am. So are you. What are we just saying things that are now? Hey, Brandon, you're here. Yes, the sky is blue, water still wet.
Well, I saw you popping in and out. I was wondering if you're having tech issues.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh. Yes, he is.
Jar Jar.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday show. It's Midweek Geeks. Woohoo!
What the fuck, man? Yeah. I keep getting booted out of this thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
That's cool.
Maybe if it happens again, maybe try restarting your browser.
Wonderful.
Maybe.
No, fingers crossed. I mean, it's probably
Fingers crossed.
2 fucking seconds. The past minute and a half of it is any experience to go upon. Unbelievable.
Kari.
Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Great new intro song. Love it, Jeremy. Good job.
Actually, it's an old intro song.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, that
I
is
hadn't heard it before.
magic.
Hey, Tom Dog.
Yeah, no, I love that. I actually listened to it in my car, but I listened to the version without the S at the end.
Okay, so I need to.
Oh no, you got the right version.
Okay.
You got the right version because it's the midweek.
He likes the
Geeks
bootleg
instead of
B-side.
the midweek geek.
This is a bunch of crap.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
What is that? What just
What's
happened?
that?
What was that noise?
You've entered the geekosphere. You've passed through to another dimension.
Right. Right, Leo.
Where space and time come together as one.
Yes, indeed.
So,
Oh,
We
The
might see
amazing
Brandon.
Brandon.
Yeah.
I know. It's like next he'll be drinking Windex.
Bam.
Oh, jeez. So you guys sent a bunch of news, but before we get into that, this is like the first show back since
From Terrificon,
Terrificon, yeah.
which is terrific.
Yeah.
Of a
I
con.
know.
It was a terrific con.
I learned my con etiquette there.
Why did you try to?
Oh,
what is it?
I got
I
Cosplay
was
is not
in
considered-
Connecticut.
Con etiquette.
Con etiquette.
Love it, love it.
Ah.
Ooh, slow one there.
Yeah.
Wasn't supposed to be.
Train keeps on rolling.
I just finished editing the who the hell did I just finish? My mind's like Chris Claremont, his panel.
Nice.
His award that he won too. Was that
with his award, yeah. Yeah, is
That
that the
was-
one you recorded that one, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, great,
great.
camera work on that. You did good.
We
I
sat in
sat
on
there
a-
and stared.
We sat in on a lot of panels that weekend. Did
20
you guys?
It was what, 20 panels or
There were
18?
20
like-
interviews and 18 panels. I think.
18 panels, yeah.
Any favorites on the panels?
I was surprised by it. My favorite was obviously the Howard Mackey,
Obviously.
Howard Mackey, Chichester, and Kavanaugh panel. But
We
I
got
was
to
really
work on
surprised
Drew
by-
saying that name. Drew
I have been,
murders
yeah.
Chichesters. I'm like, last night he said Chinchester. I was like,
Well-
where's the end?
Chinchilla? What?
yeah, but no, I love that one. But I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed the AEW panel. I haven't been able to watch wrestling for a while, and that was one of the just coolest panels that I got to see. They are just all super fun human beings, and like everybody who had questions was allowed to get up and ask them, and some people required assistance getting over, but I noticed that well, the whole con in general was really friendly towards anybody who had any type of disability, making sure that they got their questions answered and stuff, even if it took a little bit of time to get them to the mic. And it seemed that was one of the more popular ones too. We were in this like swirling line to get in there. But
Really?
yeah, I really enjoyed that one.
Who would have thought the AEW panel would have been that happening?
Wrestling is popular. Like,
Yeah, the
I'll make sure not
is
to
it
make fun of any
Danhausen?
of those wrestling people. Yeah, Danhausen.
Danhausen just had me cracking up so hard. I was thrilled. Like
So-
I wanted to interview him later.
So that panel was Danhausen, Ethan Page, and Wardlow.
Wardlow.
Yeah.
And we'll have that up on the channel
See,
sometime
I
soon.
don't know any of the newer wrestlers myself. Like the newer people, I'm just like, huh? Who are you? Hey, Jordan.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey Darren.
Oh yeah. Hi, Darren. Hi, Jordan. Hi, Tom. But yeah, the newer wrestlers, I used to watch wrestling up until it was probably the late 90s, and Stone Cold Steve Austin and smashing beers and all that.
Once more with feeling. My God.
Welcome back.
Sorry. I mean, yeah, for who knows how long. I mean, I don't know what the issue is. I restarted my laptop real quick, so hopefully that did the case. That took care of it. But
Oh,
What convention
Jordan,
are
what?
you going to, Jordan?
Yeah, what convention are you going to?
But
We're talking about Terrificon, Brandon. Since this
Oh,
is our first show
I went-
back.
Yeah.
I went to that.
You
you
did.
did. We saw you.
Oh,
I
all right,
met
cool.
you.
That makes sense. I was at the Dorkening table. I
You
distinctly
smelled very
remember
nice.
being there. Yes,
Oh, wow.
I did. I always do.
I didn't get close enough for a
Ju-
scent test.
Justin actually made
Oh, the Maryland Poppin' Horror Con.
Oh, nice.
Cool. We'll be
We're-
there.
We'll be there. Yeah.
Or
I'll be there in spirit. Watching
We'll be
all of
there.
You guys.
We'll be running the panels, Jordan. If you get your questions together, because like I got all mine together, so I've done my work. Now you guys need to do yours.
Jeremy works hard for those questions, guys.
Yeah,
You
he
have
does.
no idea the depth of research he goes into.
I want to make
It's
sure the panels are
astounding.
happening for the people coming, because like I've been to a lot of boring panels.
Yo.
Once
Hey.
you're sitting down in a panel where like half of it's silence because the panelists don't know what they're talking about or stuff, that gets sad. It breaks my heart. Can't have that.
I'm going to show Hinata because she's staggering on me right now. I tried to get her super stoned on catnip before the show so she'd not meow. And her long hair, I only had dried today. So she is like just purring and leaning on me, and her long hair is just full of catnip where she was just stoned ass
Because
cat.
right at
Tom, is that
my-
the show that you do? Oh man, my voice is cracking.
Yeah, it's one of Tom Dog's shows.
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't
so-
watched it yet since the 90s either. I was like Roddy Piper was in my batch of, ooh, these are the wrestlers I enjoy.
Guess who's back? You
Back
brought a
again.
friend now, Brandon. See,
I'm-
Yo-Yo's here now.
Yeah, I mean, how many more people are gonna show up in the interim while I'm trying to fucking
Yeah,
get
you
back in?
disappear. Next, Steve will be here.
It's doing the same shit that it was doing every single time I tried to finish the upload from when we recorded
Oh.
our podcast. It just keeps going to error reload.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I actually switched browsers altogether. I'm using
That's
Microsoft
what I-
Edge. That's how desperate I am.
Hey, that's exactly what I had to do.
Hey, I use the Edge.
Oh, you know, it's cool. It's cool. What I was
don't know
saying
what I'm
before
doing.
I
just-
was kicked off is you mentioned I smell great, and thank you. Justin actually made mention. He was like, I knew when I met you, you were gonna have a signature scent. And I'm like, so long as it's not fucking armpit mixed with garbage, then thank you. And
I
it
only
wasn't.
had one of those instances at all during the con.
Oh,
myself.
I had one.
It's probably
Yeah, I remember you
because
telling
you're
me
very
about that.
it's probably because you're very tall, Jeremy. So
Yes,
you are
I take it all
It
in.
never reached you.
yeah, you are far above anyone's armpits. And even if they want to be like, hey, what's up, buddy? Like for somebody like me, where it would be like, you know, face to face or something, they'd be like putting their arm around your waist, like, hey, how's it going, Jeremy? Like,
Oh my
yeah, I hope you smell okay, because everyone else around here seems to be offended by you.
I'm like 5'5", and I was getting drugged through stuff. You were there, Jeremy, when
Oh yeah.
when Drew drugged me through the first time, and I was like almost hitting boot. I'm like bouncing off of people in my purse. I have it tucked as far back as I can, and he's just got my hand and is pulling me all the way through the. Oh
Well,
my
By the
god!
end of the day, when
Like,
we were
ricocheting.
before I left for the interviews, I thought Kari was gonna drop. I was like, Drew, we gotta get this done so Kari doesn't die on us.
Yeah, it's very hot in there. I noticed.
I
too
was
late.
freezing in that panel room. I don't know what anybody's talking about hot. I was freezing.
I
Yeah,
wasn't in the
got
panel room.
cold.
I wasn't in the panel room,
Yeah.
but it sounds like it was lovely.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it got real chilly at one point.
I had to go outside.
I
and
enjoyed
warm up.
that room.
I'm glad I was wearing a very like comfortable Roosevelt shirt, because if I had worn a t-shirt as well, even with a Roosevelt shirt over it, I would have needed a second t-shirt halfway through that day. It was fucking gross. And it wasn't the convention center as it was. It was because it was so humid outside.
Oh yeah.
And you just had so many bodies in and out moving around, like it was just unavoidable. Unless you were absolutely like staying still, you were going to end up feeling like flop sweat, as if you were being, you know, grilled by the cops.
Could you imagine how Drew felt after?
Oh my god, I
oh,
couldn't even
geez.
imagine being in that poo costume.
Please, that's fucking child's play. I dressed up as Winnie the Pooh for an entire week to help out my family's parish when I was in junior high school during the Brockton Fair.
Oh, look at you.
at the beginning of July in Massachusetts.
I quit.
So you'll pardon me if I'm not all like, oh, poor Drew, when he's wearing a dead poo costume. Oh, that's funny. I was Winnie the Pooh. He just went poo. But regardless, dead poo in an air-conditioned convention center.
He would survive.
Admirable effort, 100%. And I feel so bad for the guy every single time I see him take the mask off. I'm like, bro, like, let us buy you a Gatorade. You earned it. You know, you earned it, champ. Here's a Gatorade and a Snickers bar.
Oh, we just kept chucking water.
Now dry off real quick. We're gonna need you back out on the floor in 5 minutes.
No.
What? You know, the more questions you ask, the less time you have to relax. You're down to 4.5 now. You know, like, just saying. Not saying anything.
Something
Just
awesome,
saying.
apparently.
Hey, Steve.
Howdy.
Welcome. Look at this. It's a full house.
I know. We were talking about Terrificon.
Oh, nice. I was there.
Literally the same thing I did. I was like, oh, I was there. Cool.
I was
So-
there 2 days.
I have to say it was awesome seeing everybody. But I'd like to get everybody's. I know there's a lot of favorite memories, but you know, what's something that stands out for the con?
Hanging out with
Or-
all you softies.
Oh,
Yeah, honestly, yeah. 'Cause that was the main
I
reason.
had friends
Aw.
that I could reach out and touch. Mostly.
No, in all honesty, the whole experience was really cool. I mean, just getting to talk to some of the people that you kind of grew up admiring, even the chance of just
Well,
hanging out.
buddy, I mean, we haven't even known each other that long, but thank you.
No, I got to hang out with you like at dinner like a year ago almost.
I know. Where'd you go, Friday and Sunday, and you just like didn't go the one day I showed up?
I couldn't get Saturday off. The summer in the post office is
Hey,
like,
whatever, man. It's cool.
Getting
Like, we had a fat Irish guy representing every single day. So
and that's all that really matters.
yeah, and that's hard to do in New England.
No, it's not.
Thank you, Steve.
Oh wait,
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to a new concept that I've devised. I call it sarcasm. I haven't quite finalized the pronunciation of it. I may go with sarcasm or sarcasm. Sarcasm sounds good.
my board's a little too far away. I can't make awesome things. Try and get closer.
I gotta get a board.
I actually have a board. I just haven't set it up yet.
This thing, I have an expensive board. It's stupid. Don't need
I
it.
only really had two celebrity. Well, no, I did have a Michael Anthony Hall no interaction.
Anthony Michael Hall?
Yeah, that's the one I meant.
That one.
Too many names, you know.
Funny
if you
enough,
could-
his real name is actually Michael. He had to change it to Anthony Michael.
He,
When-
Well,
Well,
he did say
names,
hi to us
you know.
when he walked
No,
by.
he
Well,
absolutely did.
yeah.
No, when I went up to him in asking for interviews, I was just like, "You did a bumper for us." He's like, "Oh, did I?" It's like, "Yeah."
That was before the SAG after show.
wow, I am not starstruck by anybody at all. I mean,
I really just wanted the Jerry. Oh goddamn! Why is his name escaping me right now?
Cantrell.
Yeah, I wish it
I
was
love
Jerry
it.
Cantrell. That would have been dope.
Oh yeah.
Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell. I wanted that interaction. Didn't get it. I got to watch him walk by me, and I went,
oh, that's pretty cool.
I mean,
"Yeah."
well, it really matters. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Jeremy gave me the Ghost Rider Danny Ketch #1, and I got Javier Saltaris as well as Howard Mackey to sign it. And like then later, when I got home and was like going through all my stuff, I sent out my requests, and within 4 minutes of each other, Saltaris accepted my friend request, and Howard Mackey started following me on Facebook. So I
That's
was like,
pretty dope.
yeah.
And then I
Look at you,
fucked
Kari.
him.
Glad I could help out with that.
I think my favorite memory, aside from the nice, quiet car ride to Terrificon, that was nice.
Were you by yourself?
Yeah, an hour and a half. I liked it. I like driving and I never get a chance to just drive for that long by myself for the most part. I love driving with my wife. It's not a problem, but there is something to just relaxing. And if I feel like driving like a maniac, I don't have to worry about taking anybody else's life in the car into my hands, just my own. But aside from that, it was deciding like, oh, now is the time I'm going to do this. And from thought to finalized action in ascertaining the location and obtaining particular object, it must have been a total of 6 minutes that it took me to buy Masterworks Volume 1 of Fantastic Four, issues 1 through 10 by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, because someone, I'm not going to say who, but someone who was the fucking head of the Dorkening podcast network literally had no fucking idea what the Fantastic Four's origin was on a podcast that he co-hosts with me and Justin Cooper. I don't want to name names. I'm just saying it's the guy whose name I didn't say from one of the other podcasts that I also do with Justin Cooper. Oh, Leo, you have that same book that I was talking about. That's insane.
What a coincidence.
I went from laughing to being almost apoplectic on the fucking episode of the podcast because Leo legitimately, like, he straight up earnestly was just like, oh, is that the Fantastic Four origin? And Justin and I were like, what? What? Like, it just like, but dude, like, scientists funding cut in shielding, not good for Cosmic, but he and they go, and he sneaks in, shoots in, cosmic rays, shielding bad, hits them, zoom to Earth.
I knew the gist of it.
Hits, they come out stretchy, rocky, flamey, floaty, invisibly, fantastic. And he was just like, what? And I'm like, dude, for real? And so Justin and I straight up we said we are going to find the like a volume of Fantastic Four comics. And I walked onto the floor when I finally was like, oh yeah, you know what? I should go do that. And it took me I walked from the table onto the floor. I walked down the side, like you walk in to the very right. And I was just kind of looking around, seeing what comic book like specific stands there were. And the very first one I saw on my left, I looked at it, I was like, all right, you look like you actually have a pretty decent selection of a lot of different things and a fair amount of trades. Let me see what you got here in these long boxes right in front of me. And no lie, the second box I went in, it was a whole shitload of Marvel Masterworks volumes, all paperback and in alphabetical order. And I'm like, oh, Fantastic Four Volume 1. Perfect. How much is this? The guy's like, $10. I was like, here's $10. He was like, all right, man. And then I just turned around and brought it back to the fucking table. It was quick as Bob's your uncle. And $5 says Leo still hasn't read it.
Or know who Bob, your uncle, is.
Surely Bjorn Stromberg is my uncle.
Bob, your uncle?
What was that? The stand right next to us?
No. Within the doorway.
That would be even more hilarious because that means that Leo was oblivious to the fact that was going on.
That would have been really funny if it was the guys right next door to us.
No, I literally said I walked onto the floor.
Oh, sorry.
Funny enough, the guy next to us.
I said
was Bob.
It took me the time from being at the table to walk out to the floor, and when you look out on the right, I walked up that way, and on my left, there it was, the very first stand, and it was like the fifth book I touched, and I was just like, perfect. Well, that didn't take any time at all. I really was expecting a bit more of a quest on that, and I mean, I'm gonna say I was a little disappointed at how prepared that guy was to sell an asshole like me that book.
I had a white whale that I could not find there that weekend.
Oh, what were you looking for?
Moby Dick.
No, so I have a Infinity Gauntlet #1 signed by. You just caught me way off guard at the like.
You said white whale.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Call me Ishmael. All right, Steve. I mean Ishmael. Sorry.
I have a Infinity Gauntlet #1 signed by Rubenstein and Starlin, but I'm trying to find one just signed by George Perez so I can get Rubenstein and Starlin. But nobody has one that they're either A, willing to get rid of, or B, like.
Yeah, good luck, bud. I mean,
mine isn't signed by anybody. It's just encapsulated.
That's gonna be hard. Very, very hard, especially considering the
Yeah.
past year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean it's not overly expensive to find it, but it's still like $300-400 to get a graded one.
Yeah.
Well,
And then you're gonna crack the slab.
That might be your best bet, in all honesty, just because, like, how much do you think that they're gonna charge you for something like that at a comic book convention?
No, I get it. It's just like part of me is like, I'll give you this. I know it's not worth as much, but I give you a couple of dollars. Nobody had one. Actually,
I
one
like
guy
your
said
style,
somebody-
Steve.
I'll give you the cover price.
There's a website or a Facebook group out there somewhere that allows people to buy, sell, and trade comic books if you're a lover of them.
I know.
There is.
There's one.
That's where I got this.
eBay, right?
Oh, hey,
no,
look at
no. Oh, damn.
For a second, I was like, wait, how the fuck did you get my copy?
Oh, no, I got yours. Sorry. No, mine isn't signed by anybody.
What a weird fucking reaction to have to a mass-produced comic book.
Well, no, like
that a known comic book collector also has graded. Wait a minute, how do you have that? I have that.
Jar Jar, bring that back out because the reason why I said it.
You didn't buy the one copy. Believe me.
Hold on. He had. Oh, okay. I looked at it.
Oh,
wrong.
that looks.
Oh wait, yours has Marvel Comics in the corner.
No. His is graded. I have one of those magnetic cases.
Oh, okay. I know.
I thought he had. I didn't realize his was graded. Mine is not.
Gotcha.
I got to get it recased, so the case is cracked on it. Kind of sad about it.
That brings it down 1 point.
Yes. Damn you.
So the only comic that you could say something like that, like, we know nobody else has is X-Men #1 because I own them all.
He's got like
So I only
the
get to buy
90s.
40 of
He's
the
got,
next thing.
like 41 copies of it or some shit, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is that how
I'm
many copies
surprised
you
he
have?
hasn't-
No, I'm
surprised he hasn't tried to get
41.
them out for
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah, it's 41.
I fucking pay attention, dude.
Don't talk to an Irishman like that.
Listen, kid. All right.
Oh my god. I hope this never goes out into the internet. Too late. I have a great story about Boston accents. So we have I'm not going to name names, but there's a higher up in my business that I'm in that recently went to Boston to become like the big guy in Boston. Never once have I heard this guy have a Boston accent. Recently, they put a video out there where they did like a flash mob in one of the train stations. And the local news came to interview him, and he's like, yeah, I'm coming out to fucking Malden and shit. He was in our office 2 weeks after that. People started ripping him apart.
Coming out to fucking Malden and shit. You know the worst part about it is like I am also in and from Massachusetts. I am from Charlestown in Massachusetts.
Me too.
Yeah, so
Yo, Jeremy.
believe me, I work very hard to sound like this most of the time.
I'm from
But,
Western Massachusetts. I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But I will honestly say it's been very, 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 very few and far between that I've actually met
Not
anybody
far from me.
who sounds like that, who actually sounds like the caricature Boston character. The funny thing is
I was
at
in
the point in time, at the point in time that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck did Good Will Hunting, they had actually still been so headquartered in Boston from that point. Like they had still been mostly from there at that stage, that the accent came far more naturally to them, and it worked, especially Ben Affleck's in that movie. And Casey Affleck, he's barely been able to get rid of it, so his was probably the most convincing in Good Will Hunting.
That's why that anytime they need a freaking Boston accent for Saturday Night Live, he's their number one go-to.
Oh, 100%. But even Matt Damon going back to The Departed, he didn't quite sound right anymore. And Mark Wahlberg, that guy, I mean, whatever. That's literally my opinion. Whatever.
Yeah. Hey guys, you doing something fun?
I mean, I haven't seen the past like several Transformer movies, but any passing interest I may have had in them was stamped out of my body when I saw the trailer where Mark Wahlberg was in the movie, and he's supposed to be an inventor, and in the trailer he's like, I think we got a Transformer here. I was like, fuck everybody. I am never seeing this movie. This is beyond rubbish or trash. This is so exquisitely horrible. I'm going to go by the French term garbage. It was.
I don't know, guys. I think this is a Transformer.
I think we got a Transformer. Like, oh,
over here.
Well, you're lucky because
fuck you, Marky Mark. Don't you have some CKs to go fucking try on in front of a photographer? God damn.
This is a shameless plug, but we just had a guest on our most recent episode that just dropped today, who has worked with Donnie Wahlberg for the past 2 years now.
Oh. Was that on Blue Bloods?
Yes.
I was gonna say, who's that a plug for? Because you didn't plug
for my show. Nerds of Unusual Origin.
There we go. There we
go. Yeah.
There we go. We got it. We got there, kids. Dream big, kid.
Facebook user says, I worked with Leonard Nimoy before he passed away as well, Stanley, for 2 years. That's awesome. Facebook user, we don't have your name.
I've said to you numerous times, that is like such an offensive pronunciation. That is Facebook user.
What?
If you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, we could actually find out who you are.
I like Brandon's.
Leonard Nimoy has a connection with Boston.
Facebook user. It's just like that guy Uncle Down Caller that's always calling my phone.
I think was Leonard Nimoy from Boston, because I know
he's from the North End.
No way, really? I never knew that.
No, I'm fucking with you. Yes, he was from the North End of Boston. Yeah, Lenny Nimoy is a little Jewish kid from Boston. Yeah.
Well, the cool thing was, if you go to the Boston Museum of Science, the wraparound theater there, I forgot what it was called. He does the audio check.
The Omni Theater, the one that completely surrounds you on all sides.
I forgot the name of it. It's been a long time.
Like Omni sides.
Yes. But he does the audio check. It's awesome. He sings "Who Put the Bop in the Bop Shabop," and it bounces all around.
Who put the bop? Oh, he doesn't sing a song about hobbits? That's unfortunate.
Damn.
Who was that man? I like the Hobbit song too, though.
Yeah,
Bilbo. I have the record.
It's Bilbo.
Yeah,
Megan's.
But yeah, he was from the North End. I knew that growing up because my father was a Trekkie. He was an OG Trekkie from the 60s. And I never really wrapped my head around that until I was about 18, 19 years old. And, a buddy of mine who was super into Trek was kind of geeking out about it. And I was like, all right, nerd. Give me all, like, all right, nerd, calm down. And my dad was like, what's going on? I was like, yeah, he's just blabbering on about Star Trek like anybody gives a shit. I don't know what kind of fucking loser gets into all that futuristic crap. And my dad was like, me, I used to stay home it was like Tuesday or Wednesday, the couple of seasons it was on back in 60, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Not you though, Dad. You're a cool cat. You are cool. Not you. Those guys are different than you. Can I have $20 to go hang out with my friends? No, I'm just kidding. My dad, there would be no need asking. He would never give me money. But yeah, my dad was like super into it, and that was just one of those factoids as a child that I was informed of. Especially like going over the bridge from Charlestown to the North End, like fairly frequently. It like seriously, like where I lived, it took no time at all to get to the North End, and we used to go into Boston to the Navy Yard and stuff all the time with my grandmother because my grandfather was killed during World War II, so my grandmother still got all kinds of like veterans benefits, and one of them was she could shop at the duty free and didn't have to pay taxes for anything. And my father was a veteran, so he would take her, and I would come along looking like the child of the world's oldest father and oldest grandmother. My dad looked like an old Ned Flanders when he was still 36. So there's that. But yeah, Lenny Nimoy, and I guess he worked very hard to train the accent that he had developed in Boston, because it was, I mean, he was old school Boston, so that shit was, thick as molasses.
Well, I'm from Connecticut. We don't have accents.
Bullshit.
Yes, you do.
The only thing I will ever take from Joe Rogan is Connecticut is just a highway from Boston to New York.
Pretty much.
I mean, Rhode Island is part of that. I mean, if you're gonna say Connecticut, it should be Rhode Island and Connecticut are just a highway from Boston to New York, because
touche.
Rhode Island has like one of the weirdest combination Boston, New York accent deals I've ever heard in my entire life. It's just
hog.
I mean, it's just like, it's uncomfortable because I'm like, I feel like you're making fun of one of us. Like you're making fun of people from New York or Boston, and like because I'm unsure, I want to punch you. Like, oh, you got $1? You fucking with me right now? No, I need $1. I'm getting the feeling that you're fucking with me. All right, fuck you. I'll ask this guy then. Oh, you sound like you're from Boston right there. Say that one more time. I need $1. Nah, that's not okay. You know what? Get the fuck away from me. Go buy your fucking awful somewhere else. That's a Rhode Island thing.
What's the Connecticut accent then?
You drop some of your T's and you say "eh."
There's a mild New York thing going on. Very mild. Not like deep like Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens. There's more of like Albany or down towards Kingston, which makes sense because that's the more like urban, suburban areas far removed from New York City. That you kind of have that faint, almost, for lack of a better term, like hick-esque thing going on, and it dovetails way into that weird ass fucking Rhode Island thing I was just talking about. And then you get to Massachusetts, and good luck. I mean, whatever direction you're going in, it's going to be fucking
Boston,
different.
the harder it is to figure out where the R is.
I mean, the worst part about the Boston accent, especially like falling into it if I'm not really paying 100% attention, is overcorrection. Even people from Boston who have an accent, they do it unwittingly. They'll put an R where there actually shouldn't be an R, but then skip where the R's are in every other fucking word. It's a very strange thing to behold. I can't even think of a solid example because it happens. What is happening here? Is this dude about to pull out a katana sword?
Ooh, you gonna open it? You gonna open it? You gonna open
I
it?
already did.
My
I opened it. I had to open it.
Cool. What
Brandon?
is it?
Oh,
it
What's
is.
in the box?
I'm sorry.
What's
My
in the
headphones weren't on,
fucking
so I didn't know
box?
anybody was talking to me until I put them back on.
Ah, come on,
New
nobody's gonna fucking
sword.
acknowledge my Faith No More fucking reference.
What is it? I said that's
It's the power sword.
Holy shit, ass!
That is awesome.
It's
Oh, solo in on that.
it's a two-hander too. I love it. It's like I'd say it weighs probably about 50 pounds.
What was this?
Wow.
Give me that power sword, you gingerhead gobshite! I need to find
Grayskull will be mine.
Because the door, I don't know if you can see that, has the battle axe on it and two power swords down the bottom. But I need to find a good place to hang it.
From your enemy's throat.
You need your own Castle Grayskull.
Oh, that would be dope. No, I don't think the woman's gonna buy me that though.
There is a well, there's multiple ones, castles in Connecticut, but there's I forgot what home show it was.
Worcester,
where they renovate somebody's house for free.
Ah, yeah, Viva la Bam.
There's a lot of those.
Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Yeah. So
fucking Viva la Bam.
I was being 100% facetious.
There was one done in Connecticut where they lost their house in a fire. The father was like a firefighter and whatnot, and they rebuilt their home as a castle, and it turned out awesome. But then the problem was the taxes were too high.
Taxes.
Then they remembered it was a fucking castle.
Yeah, Connecticut taxes.
Oprah had
that happened to so many people on that show. Like, those are a ridiculously stupid idea if you really think about it.
It happens.
Like, just build them a regular house. Build them a regular house.
Yep.
Like, same with the people from
it's
like
not as
any game
entertaining,
show.
but
They win stuff, but then they can't pay the taxes on.
Well, that's not true. That's not true anymore. They actually had
they
passed a law like just a few years back, maybe 7 or so, where if you win on a game show, they have to compensate for the amount of tax that's going to be taken out of it, so they actually receive the full amount that they won.
Oh wow! Oh, that's cool.
Well, because people were fucking actually going bankrupt from winning on game shows. And they're like, listen, the game shows are fun and all, but you're ruining people's lives by letting them win this money on your show. Like, that's great that your ratings are fantastic, but the more this happens, the more you're damaging society. And so, like, all right, well, let's find a compromise here. And it's like, listen, just you can afford it. If somebody wins $14,000 fucking dollars or whatever, then pay fucking $18,000 altogether. So that takes care of the tax. Like, it's fully amended. So,
but then they got to pay the tax on the tax.
No, the tax
I'm
is
joking.
paid.
I know.
The tax is paid from what is doled out. So the company itself has to pay essentially pays the tax for them right off the bat, for what that amount would be, and that's that.
I was, before you even said that, I was going to say I never understood why they would build a new house and not say here's the money to pay the taxes for the next 5-10 years.
Because it was literally just for ratings for them. They ruined so many people's lives.
We're gonna rebuild your house. Cool. What's your budget? Could I just have the money instead? Yeah, that sounds great. But my house, my house is still standing and everything pretty much works. So it would be really fun to eat and pay my utilities for a while. That would be fun. Maybe make some car payments. So yeah, I'll just take the money.
What?
Give me that.
Fuck myself. Cool. See ya.
Oh no. All right. Well, thanks for wasting 7 minutes of my life. Then get the fuck off my lawn.
Move the bus.
I was gonna say move that bus
out of my fucking yard.
Back fucking that way. Go ask my neighbor if he wants to be financially ruined. He's a dickhead.
What was that dude's name? Ty something. Anybody remember? No.
What
was that?
What was the host's name? It was Ty something.
He does some commercials now. I know that.
Yeah.
Is this
Some
for
kind
reverse
of like
mortgages?
cell phone commercial.
He seems like a nice reverse mortgage dude.
668, the neighbor of the devil.
He had the face and body of what's his name? Fuck.
Was it Ty something? Because that would make sense.
No, he had the face and body of the dude who played Whiplash on Iron Man 2.
Oh,
Mickey Rourke?
He had the face and body of Mickey Rourke, but the voice of I fucking failed today. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think he looks like Mickey Rourke in the least bit.
Pennington.
Ty Pennington.
Yep.
I think he looks more like Sean Bean than anybody else.
He does voiceovers too, right? Doesn't he do like voiceovers for like the Oak Island?
He always
show
just sounded really excited in my mind. He's just like,
the joke.
You know what we're gonna do this week? We're gonna tear out the fucking houses. Tear them down.
I was trying to make.
Speaking of things
he said in was he had the body and voice of Mickey Rourke and the voice of Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri. There we go. That's
the body and voice of Mickey Rourke and the voice of Guy Fieri. So he
Body and
sounds like Linda Blair from The Exorcist.
Pretty much. Oh, ADD fucking sucks.
Let Jesus bring you back to Flavor Town.
Hey, Jar Jar, we can go to Maryland. My Easy Pass just showed up.
Oh, fantastic! That's good to know.
That sounds
He's just opening his mail.
Sounds like a great reason to just drive to Maryland willy-nilly. Oh, my Easy Pass is here. I can drive to Maryland now. Is that the thing holding you back? All right.
That was about it.
Well, when I traded in my car, I forgot to grab the Easy Pass, and yeah, so I had to.
We could have just
one.
taken mine.
Well, you know what they say: easy pass, easy go.
That was the
problem solved before it even happened.
Yeah.
Hey,
Speaking of, do you have a multi-pass?
Multi-pass.
Milo multi-pass.
What does ectogamut mean? It means never without my permission. Yeah, I thought so.
Hey, he's back, and it doesn't say whatever that word was that you came up with.
Pachi.
Okay. Yeah.
Loser? I don't remember.
What?
It wasn't what I said.
Not at all. Oh my god.
Speaking about things that happened this week.
Hold on.
He's got more mail to open.
Brandon said 48 minutes into the show.
He just got a letter.
Oh, it came in. Oh, wow.
Wow, fantastic. Can we not go through your fucking mail on air? And actually cover the topics that we came here to discuss?
Yeah.
He said almost an hour into the show.
I mean,
congratulations.
Why, thank you.
Yes, good job on buying comic books and having them sent to your house.
So we did something on yesterday's show, which people seem to like. I threw the images up.
Was it starting off with the topics that you had at the top of the show? Did they like that? He said almost an hour into the show.
No, we actually
they hated it. Okay, that tracks then.
No, the beginning of the show was the guest that was he was a pretty good guest, but
go on. Who was he?
You have to watch the show to figure that out.
Hold on, wait. Let me get my tea for this.
No. It was the co-creator of Lobo and Rocket Raccoon, and he had some very interesting things to say about Lobo. He says, pretty much every incarnation of Lobo has been incorrect so far. He said if they were to make because
nobody gets the fucking joke.
Exactly.
And his name was Keith Giffen.
Yes.
And it still is.
Just in case anybody didn't know.
Thank you for that, Kari.
It is nice to know just in the little bit that I heard and how what his demeanor was, especially regarding Lobo, that
Well,
he
it
is
was
of the same mind I am. Like that warms the cockles of where my heart should be.
well, it was very interesting. He said Lobo needs to be played like either Mike Myers or Jason.
Quiet.
Like Jason Voorhees?
Yeah, Jason Voorhees.
Okay.
So he just needs
I
to be a
think-
silent killer.
Well,
No, I
Well,
think
cast
he's going more
as-
Look, Nope
for
Sudeikis,
the-
Jason
Size.
needs to be played like Jason Sudeikis.
Well, he said he wanted Lobo to be at least 7 feet tall. He said,
something like that.
yeah, just like
Yeah.
the size of like
I
Michael
mean,
Myers.
You're not gonna find a whole hell of a lot of people
The great Callie got it.
that big to play Lobo. Just
Gonna have
saying.
to wear some lifts.
Yeah, there's gonna be some Apple boxes and camera trickery involved. Just saying. But yeah, like for me, it's like I was saying, like just before, I could give a flying fuck through a rolling donut about anything involving Lobo. Like it's seriously like, oh yeah.
I've never heard that fucking.
Nor have I. I'm trying to
You guys
visualize.
You guys need to read more.
Flying fuck.
I suggest a lot of stuff by Kurt Vonnegut if you're not familiar.
Ah,
Yes. So as I was saying, a flying fuck through a rolling donut about anything Lobo is involved in. Like Lobo is a nothing character to me. As a kid, I remember seeing him initially, and I'm like, that's stupid. Like, not in a mean way. I was like, that's so fucking ridiculous. It's beyond goofy. And then all kinds of other people were like my age and stuff. We're just like, Lobo's the best. I'm like, the best at what? Like, shut your fucking mouth. And as it turns out, like my instincts as a kid were right on the money. Lobo was created to be a parody of those tough guy archetypes in stories and what have you. And then everybody didn't get the fucking joke, and they started using him as that same exact archetype in everything he was in. It's just like he was a commentary on that shit. Like the parody of a parody is taking it seriously, and I just found it to be beyond the pale. I've never been interested in Lobo. He is like one of the least interesting characters I've ever seen. In all honesty, like for me personally, I people keep saying like they need to have Lobo in a Superman movie. And to that I say, why? Why on earth should Lobo be in a Superman movie? I don't understand it. He's not like a classic Superman villain or anything along those lines. Like, I think it's great that you enjoyed maybe a cartoon episode where he was voiced by Brad Garrett, but beyond that, what? He was played by an Irish guy on the show Krypton, which I watched an episode and a half of, and even as a Superman, lover aficionado,
I wanted to like it.
Yeah, I wanted to, and I just didn't. I did not care one iota about that show. I was like, you know what?
2 seasons.
I watched Smallville for 10 seasons. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, go fuck yourself. And that's exactly the feeling I started getting from Krypton, like right off the bat. And I wasn't broken up when they were like, "Oh, they're canceling it." I'm like, "Yeah." In other news, like I'm still bald. I mean, I don't see anybody fucking getting shocked about that shit. You should have seen it coming.
Well,
anyway,
speaking of news,
hey, good job, Leo.
Yeah, I just fixed it.
That's the right actress.
Yeah. So, what was this news item? Was this on you, Brandon?
I have to ask, who was it before?
He had switched. Yeah, it's right there on the fucking title card of the show. He put Sydney Sweeney in front of Sue Storm and Vanessa Kirby in front of Spider-Woman Jessica Drew, and it's the opposite.
I mean,
to be fair, she does look a lot.
Completely wrong people.
What's
that? That's a stock footage person. What else is that?
Which one's the stock footage person?
Well, the facial expressions, though, Sue Storm looks a lot like her there.
Oh yeah, well the art
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
very similar to the actress. but-
I haven't seen
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything either one of the actresses there have been in. Sydney Sweeney here as Jessica Drew / Spider Woman, in Madame Web, I'm sure to be Oscar worthy next installment in the Spider-Man, the Sony.
Who gives a fuck verse?
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Sony Pictures, Marvel characters universe. I don't know what the fuck you're calling it, Spumku or some shit like that. Fucking Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters.
Oh, I get it. It's just
Spunk. Well,
all right.
we really
I
got
wonder
to
if you
take
can get
advantage
that
of
to
all this
trend,
spunk.
or will they
I'm
stop
sorry,
this?
all this what?
Spump.
I wonder if you can get that to trend, would they stop this? Like, oh, I don't want this associated with it.
Spread it like wildfire. Spunk.
That kid.
Hashtag spump. Spump.
So
Spunkerman.
would it then be Madame time
What?
instead of Morbin time? Madame time.
Yeah. I got it.
Hey, I tried.
Yes, you did. E for effort. But I haven't seen anything that either one of them have done, so I can't really comment on. I mean, nothing against Sydney Sweeney. I just feel like she's setting herself up to be the fucking celloist on the Titanic by being excited on getting a role in Madame Web for Sony Pictures based on the Spider-Man universe of characters they own.
I saw her. She did a really good job in Euphoria. Like,
Oh, she was in White Lotus.
and
I haven't seen White Lotus. I also have not seen
Oh.
Euphoria.
Euphoria, the
she-
first season I saw.
yeah, she's really good in Euphoria, and I think based on everything that happened, it's good that she's trying to like break that typecast of being like the blonde bombshell that they asked to do nude scenes. So this is a good.
Hold on, how
good
old?
print.
That girl's not even that old. They had her doing nude scenes in
Yeah,
Euphoria.
Euphoria is
teenager,
fucking
yeah.
crazy.
But
That show
like,
is.
I totally get what she's trying to do. Becoming a
Close up for
bigger
movie.
exactly, and doing something that's not to say that those aren't legit, but to do something much bigger to get bigger roles.
That's maybe focused a little bit more on something fun and could lead to something bigger and better. I get it. Seriously, no shade from me on that. And I wish her well. I mean, I've seen I've read like a couple like little mini interviews with her. She seems like she's got a good head on her shoulders. I think she's trying to produce stuff too, which is always a smart move. Try to diversify and control projects you might work on and such. Somebody trying to break into somebody's house right now.
I thought they were trying to figure out a lock combination.
Yeah, like
This-
you gotta step the scope up to the door where you are right now. Is that you cracking knuckles? Is that what that was? No.
Oh no!
No. I was looking at Steve.
That's what
I'm
it
like,
sounded like to me.
Oh, but
Oh,
yeah.
that wasn't.
No, I don't think it was you. I don't.
Oh
think it
no,
was you.
no, it wasn't.
That was my mouse wheel.
Oh,
I'm just discovering apparently how powerful my microphone is tonight.
You have a fantastic mic. If that was your mouse, wow.
I just saw like Jar Jar hunched over, like.
might want to turn the gain down and bring that mic closer to your face.
Yeah, the gain is all the way off. So I'm sorry
wow.
that I've had mic issues with you guys. This is just
All right, I'm gonna be on Amazon real quick looking up most
pretty
silencers.
I mean that's the only thing I can think of is that it happened at the
quietest
exact time
mouse.
you guys asked.
Maybe I don't know. But regardless, but I haven't seen anything either one of them. I don't even know what else. I don't know what Vanessa Kirby has done. Is she British?
She looks British.
I was gonna say that's why I was asking if she's British.
So she did 18 episodes of The Crown as Princess Margaret.
Sounds
She
pretty
is
British.
Wimbledon, London, England.
She was in Mission Impossible Fallout.
Sorry.
Pieces of a Woman and The World to Come. She's also
World
in
to
Mission
Come?
Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
Okay.
Cool. And if
Jupiter
I
Ascending. She
if
was
I
in
had seen
Jupiter
any
Ascending.
Mission Impossible movie past part 3,
Yeah.
that might mean something to me. But
Oh, she was also in Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw.
yeah.
18 and 22.
Hey, little doggy, on the wrong tree. Stop barking at me. Yeah, that Fast and the Furious. You want to know what my favorite Fast and the Furious movie is? I wouldn't be able to tell you because I haven't watched a single fucking one of them.
It's all about family.
Yeah. Family.
From
That's
what
all
I can gather, those movies have just altogether become superhero movies, except
No,
their
about
powers are
family.
car based. That's
No,
about it.
I remember the first movie came out in like '98, and it was like, "Oh, I almost had you on the quarter of the mile," and he was like, "You never had me." Why did I went from Vin Diesel to fucking Sylvester Stallone?
Nothing's over.
Nothing's over. You never can get me.
Suddenly it went
Oh,
from
I
Fast and the
bet.
Furious to Driven, whatever the fuck that movie was. He was a race car driver in.
Black Dog. No, I'm just kidding. That's Kurt Russell.
Need for Speed.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Driven. I remember specifically like 'cause my buddy Derek wanted to like watch it, and I was so indifferent.
Oh.
I only remember one part of the movie. He had somebody like just flip 3 quarters onto the track, and he like starts humming because he like gets in the zone while he's going around the track, and they're like, watch this, and they throw the coins on there, and then he finishes like this last final laps there, and they spin the front right wheel, and you see 2 of the coins like almost side by side, even though they all landed in different spots. And he was like so into it that he was able to spot the coins to get him. And they're like, what about the third one? And then they flip the wheel, they spin it, and like there's the third one. Like, ooh, wow, look at the precision he drives in a circle with. Like, whatever, who gives a shit? But you know how hard it gets in those cars. You have to be so. But I'm like, whatever.
That guy really likes Tide.
It's just like so ridiculous. Like, you have to be like an Olympic level athlete to do that.
I got you, Jer.
Kind of. I mean, it's still a weird thing to train to do, though. Like, I train so I can drive in a circle 500 times in a row.
Why are we always turning left?
Just once, I'd like to turn right at one of these things. I mean, you can do it, but only once. That's the
problem. Jar Jar, if you did, nobody paid attention. Jar Jar made a Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah, Mitch Hedberg. Used to love that guy. Well, I still do love his stuff.
Man, that guy really likes Todd.
But yeah, I do think it's funny that because I do see how that actress Vanessa Kirby could see how she could play Sue Storm. Like, she matches the physicality of the character. I get it.
She definitely she definitely looks like a lot of iterations of Sue Storm.
Yeah, and it's amusing to me because the person that years ago I really wish had been able to play Susan Storm, she's just a little too old at this point. But I really wanted to see Alice Eve play Sue Storm.
Oh shit! Hold on.
I think
I'm going to keep my comment to myself because my first thought of why he would think she can play Sue Storm.
No, I totally see what you're saying. Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, it's not just because of how she. It's not just like about how she looked. I was really impressed with her in the movie. She's Out of My League.
Yep.
Because she does look. She's a blonde bombshell, so it'd be very easy to put her in to kind of pigeonhole her and be like, well, clearly like kind of dumb, bubbly blonde, but that's not at all
the craziest part about
how she was portrayed, and She's Out of My League. She was a very smart, talented, and like accomplished character in that movie.
So I was gonna say,
comes off as very, very smart, and she actually did a good job playing Carol in Star Trek Into Darkness as well. She got kind of a bum deal being in that movie because it was kind of a clunker.
I was gonna say that she somehow broke the typecasting mold blonde bombshell, because a lot of the roles that she takes where she is the lead actress, where she is a blonde bombshell, she's also incredibly smart in those movies.
That's because I think she is.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
But she's Out of My League. She does a fantastic American accent. I'm very attuned to that. When I watch stuff, I always hear certain things. I'm like, I don't think they're American. And she nailed it. And I was actually kind of surprised to find out that she was British. Not only that, but the people that play her parents in the movie She's Out of My League are actually her parents.
Really?
In real life, who are both British, and they do a flawless American accent as well. So, but yeah, she's just not that she's like too old for the earth or anything. She's
still pretty young.
Yeah, but I think she's not quite in the age bracket that they're looking to make this Fantastic Four.
I get it.
We got a lot of white noise going on right now. What's happening?
Was like, is somebody watching TV?
Kari, what's going on your end? Sounds like you're directing air traffic over there.
I just muted and I still heard.
No. When you mute your mic, we can't hear it anymore.
The radio on?
Turn the radio on. Oh, no, fuck. I'm going to
play my song.
There is in love and
Lisa Loeb. Go back to Texas, Lisa
Because I
Loeb.
miss you.
That is one of my favorite songs.
Get out of my head and go back to Texas.
I love Newfound Glory version of it.
That is literally one of my favorite songs ever written.
Stay by
can't
Lisa
even believe
Loeb.
that we all did that.
Actually, Newfound Glory did a cover of it with Lisa Loeb doing vocals in it as well.
I saw her perform it live in Boston against my will.
You're a fancy pants, Mr. Man.
No, don't feel bad for me.
I feel good for you.
Yeah, fucking just what a wonderful time that was.
Did you
I was like fucking 20 feet away from Lisa Loeb, and I couldn't have been more wildly indifferent. I was just like, how much longer is this show? Well, listen, I don't mind Lisa Loeb's music, and I actually have seen her perform in a couple of like shows and stuff, and I actually think she's a pretty capable actress as well. But I didn't like I wasn't like so into her that I wanted to go see her perform a show. And my ex at the time, she was like super into Lisa Loeb, and she was like, "Come with me," and I was like, "Okay,
no, I'm good."
I guess, I mean, at that point in time, I'm like, I'm closest to the approximation of what I consider to be love with you. So let me do that. And I went, and I was one of a number of many disinterested boyfriends there. And every single one of our girlfriends at this show, race, creed, and color had no bearing on it. Every single girl there to watch Lisa Loeb perform had long dark hair and glasses. It looked like they were all cosplaying Lisa Loeb. And I was like, wow, Freud would have a fucking field day at this concert right now. This is amazing.
Coincidentally, Lisa Loeb has done the voice of Mary Jane Watson on the new animated series for Spider-Man.
Did not know that.
Okay.
That's pretty freaking crazy.
Yeah, what a small spider world this is.
So while you guys were talking, I was very confused.
She should join Spunk.
What's up, yo? What's up, yo?
You kept mentioning She's Out of My League. She wasn't in She's Out of My League.
Alice Eve was, she was.
Yes, Alice Eve was. Okay, I think I missed which.
This all happened because I said a snippet of the song "Stay" when someone said like turn the radio, somebody turned the radio up, and I said turn the radio on, turn the radio up, and I was like no, and that's how this.
Don't do it again.
The ADHD highway.
Now I have to explain it.
Many
Ethan Hawke directed the music video for that. We got that going for us, which is nice. But yeah, I thought Alice Eve would have made a great Sue Storm. I just think the age bracket they're looking for all 4 members is skewing a bit younger altogether. I don't think they're trying to make Reed older than Sue or anything. I think they're trying to keep everyone as a contemporary, except for Johnny, who may be just like a couple of years younger than them, which makes sense. And have them be all more towards like 30. That way they can.
There's only a 6 years age gap between the two.
The thing I think is bothersome to me is that they're bringing like a super established, like popular comic characters into a universe that's like should have had them around from day one.
Yeah, but I mean, what choice
for
do
legal
they?
reasons?
No, I totally get it. I'm just saying like it's difficult to do something.
Listen, it's not that hard to do, man. I mean, I figured it out like 6 years ago. How
what's your Brandon verse?
Oh, you want it? All right, hashtag Brandon verse. Okay, I'll give it to you. No, in all honesty, stuff that's happened in the Marvel Cinematic Universe since I first came up with my idea has only supported the idea that I came up with. So, it seems like I'm not saying it's going to be 100%, but I wouldn't be shocked. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's fine. It's just like a theory. And if it's not that, then Godspeed. I hope it's a really good story regardless. You know, there's nothing but hope on my end. That's all. You know, I'm rooting for it. But my feeling is you're going to get a bit more of a taste of the kind of thing that we got from Captain America with being a man out of time, only it's going to be a little bit more lighthearted, except for anything dealing with Ben Grimm because, you know, Orange Rock Monster. I think you're going to see like a little bit of a Event Horizon thing, and it's going to come back to the same explanation that Jane gave for wormholes and tesseracts that was clearly ripped off from Sam Neill's explanation of how the ship traveled in Event Horizon by folding a piece of paper and then poking a pen through it and saying like, this is how it travels. You just fold the space and punch through, and then you're on the other side of it. I think that's what the experimental ship is going to be for. It's going to be a SHIELD project, and it may very well end up being something that was initiated once the Skrull touched down and Saber started to become like more of a thing that was getting worked on, because what else would you want to have set up outside of a fucking super secretive dope ass space station than a ship that can traverse through interstellar distances with minimal time? And that would be the purpose of Reed Richards working on this project. He is working on this to punch through, basically to create like a wormhole kind of deal and go from point A to point B without any light speed travel, instantaneous. That way you don't have to worry about the relativistic effects of time travel. I mean, of light speed travel, which would be, you know, you would age normally, but everyone else would age like 80 years by the time you reached one spot. And
time dilation, yeah.
You know, no, that's not time dilation. That's the relativistic effects of light speed travel. Different thing.
It's called, that's time dilation, isn't it?
Slightly different. I'm not getting into all the science stuff right now. Not doing that.
I'm doing this for my own edification.
But the thing is, I think what ends up happening is it's going to be the same kind of principle that was involved with Fantastic Four, where it's not quite ready, but Reed is insistent that it's good to go. And this could be where Doom comes into play, where he's like, you know, you're off by a decimal, you know, and he's like, no, everything's fine. And Doom does not go with them. They manage to sneak past Fury and his Skrull guards or whatever. And you can even have a Skrull that Johnny Storm flirts with on Saber when they're getting ready for it, named Lila, to play into the whole like he dated a Skrull named Lila in the comic books. And they managed to get onto the ship and have an unauthorized like launch, and they get far enough away from the space station that they're able to activate the whole like wormhole tesseract mechanism, and it punches that hole, and they automatically are pulled through it the way they were supposed to be set up for. But something is not quite right, and as far as we are concerned, they disappear.
Ooh, is that where they get their powers?
And what happens is we do see them punch through on the other side. And they're like, as far as they can, they're like, okay, it worked. And they come back, right? Each time it was 2 seconds, totaling 4 seconds of travel time, where they're of course ecstatic. And when they come back, they realize that it's actually been 33 years. And everyone thought that it was a failed experiment and that Richards went fucking off the deep end. And so they leave like the 90s and come back, and it's 2023 or 2024 or whatever. And there you have them come down, and what it is passing through, especially like both times, it wasn't protected enough. And by the time they get down to Earth, shit starts happening. And that's when Ben starts, mutating into Orange Rock, and Reed starts like kind of liquefy a bit. And, like they kind of realize like something's wrong. And you have Saber straight up like, swooping them up and trying to keep them contained. And then finally, keep them on Earth contained. And after the effects of Secret Invasion, like they're trying to explain to them like, listen, some shit's gone down. We need to make sure that you are who you say you are, and all that. And after maybe a few hours of that, that's when they're just like, yeah, you know what? Reed's like, fuck this. And he makes his way to some place, some lab he may have had, but because he was a super genius, he like bought wherever it was his lab was set up, and he had set up an account based off of this, that, and the other thing, and whatever banking algorithm he had set up, it supplied a steady enough income that he continuously paid on everything for it, so no one could ever try to like foreclose on it or anything like that. And he goes there and he finds out like how long it's truly been since they went. He realizes that there was some kind of radiation they were exposed to as they went through both times, and that's what's changing them. And he's like, but on the plus side, it looks like all those stocks that I bought before we left, I'm a multi-billionaire now. And they're like, what? He's like, yeah, we can go anywhere we want. Yeah. And he actually
in this little company called Apple.
And he buys the Baxter building, and that's where he immediately puts them in the public eye after seeing that. Like, I want him to be a little bit more shrewd. He puts them in the public eye so that people see them, so they can't go missing. Just in case S.H.I.E.L.D. tries to snag them, That
makes sense.
And then Doom, of course, sees them show up, and he's like, Richards, no! And that's when we get the whole, Latveria deal. And
so where did Bane come in?
Right at the end, did you not hear?
That's what I heard. It's like,
no, I mean, I was going for that. I really want. I am Doom. You will suffer my wrath. I will break you, Richards.
It's one of my favorite Bane voices. I love it.
So one of the other news items.
I will be his credit card's reckoning.
So what do we got going here?
He's going to be the
David Harbour from Stranger Things.
Yeah, he's going to be Frankenstein.
He's going to be Frankenstein's creature. I mean, I think the character does go by Frankenstein. But just to put it out there, I mean, the monster is not Frankenstein. The
No,
doctor
that
was
is the doctor.
Frankenstein.
Dr. Victor
And-
Frankenstein.
And the creature was the creature, like the creation, you know. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, Frankenstein. And the cool thing about the animated stuff with the DCU as it's going to be set up is that the people voicing the characters are also the ones who are going to be playing those characters in any live action iteration. So David Harbour voicing Frankenstein and Creature Commandos means he's going to play the character if and when he appears in live action, which I would say he's going to appear in live action, you know, and that's a pretty good pick. I like David Harbour. I actually liked Hellboy with him starring in it. I enjoy Mike Mignola's comic book Hellboy. I actually wasn't like the most overjoyed when I saw Guillermo del Toro's stuff because he changed quite a bit of it, like the love story aspect and everything. Like, that's not Hellboy at all. But I felt like David Harbour looked more like Hellboy. He fit the attitude completely, and my hat was off to the people who put the story together because they really just kept it focused on like what it was Hellboy does, who he is, and like the kinds of things he's surrounded by and the people he sometimes has to work with. There was no weird forced romance stuff going on, no unrequited love type puppy schoolboy crushes or anything. And you know, it was decent in my eyes, and people just eviscerated it because it, for the most part, just wasn't Guillermo del Toro's version of Hellboy, which I think is wildly unfair. I enjoyed him as Red Guardian in Black Widow. I thought he did a great job in that. He's one of the few instances I've seen where the de-aging was like really solid over the past few years. And you know, it did strike me as kind of funny that he went on from working on Hellboy with Mila Jovovich to Black Widow, and the little girl who played the young Natasha in that movie at the beginning of Black Widow, that's Mila Jovovich's daughter. Yeah, that's her daughter with Paul W.S. Anderson.
Double, huh?
Yeah, take a look at the girl who played young Natasha in Black Widow, like next time you get a chance, and really think about the fact that her mother is Mila Jovovich, and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, now I see it. And that struck me as funny too, because Mila Jovovich was the person who I always thought would have been perfect to play Natasha Romanoff in a Marvel movie. Like I was really so perplexed when they made Iron Man 2 and they were like, and as Black Widow we have Scarlett Johansson. I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess. Well, why not? Sure. Couldn't find anybody whose life and of some kind of Ukrainian or Russian background. If only there was an actress like Mila Jovovich around. Hey, wait a minute. Is Mila Jovovich around? Nobody thought to say that? Okay, just me.
So what the heck is Bob Iger going on about?
Being
we're talking about the gambling stuff, or
I'm gonna need context here, Leo.
That, or
Well, that was one of the news items that was linked into the document.
That is. Am I still destroying things with my microphone?
No,
you're good.
Oh. Okay. Well, after he went down and bitched about the strike and all of it being a disruptive force in the business and all of the challenges, and they made a great deal with the Directors Guild, but they want to do the same thing with the writers, but the writers and actors are asking for far too much. He has then stepped back and said, oh no, I'm totally behind the people on strike, and I really want to make everything come together, and we're going to work and he's personally committing himself to work to achieve a result of them getting fast solutions and getting everything going.
It is important for me
Probably
to
means
have
that
everyone
his
realize I am
prices
working
are
as
down.
hard as possible to pull my foot directly out of my mouth.
I feel like
Yes.
he was the one that straight up said that like they'll go on as long as the writers are the writers are blah, the writers will come back as soon as they start losing their houses, because they've never said who actually said that.
Yeah,
Ron
well, I mean,
Perlman went off on
good luck
that.
to him.
No, I know.
So long as you, I mean, the hierarchy of DC may have changed in a way that he did not plan for at all, but Dwayne Johnson donated an awful lot of money to help everyone out there who's striking to make
Close to
sure
8
they can
figures,
strike for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
The
And
largest
actually,
single donation they've ever received.
I
That's
don't know
fantastic.
how much you guys care, but I found out some insight as to how that donation plus the other donations from the bigger name actors actually works.
Oh, please sure.
The way that helps the actors is if that you say like you're gonna lose your house or you need to pay your rent. You have to put in a request from the union to get money for it, and it's easy yet hard to do, but it's still doable, and they will give it to you like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but like you said, he donated 8 figures, so that's
Wow.
it's no joke.
Just from the Fast and Furious money he had hanging around, not much.
That family
Probably.
money.
I need to let everybody know
but-
I'm not a dickhead after that whole DC
Yeah,
fandom
that
thing.
DC thing.
I gotta, I really stepped in it by talking about how I had been enthralled by the character of Black Adam since I was a child, because it was only after I was in the movie that I realized nobody really gave a shit about Black Adam until about 18 years ago. That's the fact.
Correct.
No fucking way did Dwayne Johnson grow up saying to himself, "Man, Black Adam, that's where it's at, kid." Nope, I don't buy it. Not for a New York minute.
Well, I mean, he says he's been trying to get that movie into production for what, 15 years?
Yeah, I believe 16 years ago he was like, "This Black Adam character, I really like what they're doing with him in this Jissa comic." Dwayne, that's JSA. It stands for Justice Society of America. Yeah, Jissa, whatever. I really like what they're doing here in this Jissa.
Now, like thinking about it now,
I haven't figured out a way to break into Spunk. I want some of that Spunk money, but if I can get Black Adam made, boy oh boy, I'd like to play that character. Can we make him bald in the comics?
he got off the set of fucking, I don't know, I almost said the pacifier. No, the Tooth Fairy. Was like, Black Adam. Yeah, I could do that.
You want to know the best movie that Dwayne Johnson, the best movie, the best acting, the best role Dwayne Johnson ever had
Gridiron
was
Gang.
The
Jumanji.
Rundown. The Rundown. Because it's the only movie he's done where he had absolutely no control over how that movie was made.
But he had control over his eyebrows.
He was hired to play that role. He was not a producer. He had no say in anything. He was there to be directed.
Has everything since then been? Oh, there we go. Has everything since then been him in a producer role of some kind?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yep. Including the Disney stuff. Race to Witch Mountain, The Tooth Fairy, The Game Plan.
That would be.
You haven't named a good one.
Whoa! The Race to Witch Mountain is.
I think The Game Plan's a cute movie. I think that one's that's a
The
nice
Game Plan
one.
was a cute movie. Like it was, but it was also like up there with the pacifier.
I mean,
Seems like a direct response.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
That's the studio's call.
He's a guy who's a professional sports figure who finds out that he has a kid that he was never told about. Not quite the same thing as
I mean in terms of like acting and throwing somebody into a role that's not really doesn't make sense for them.
I mean, I've seen both, and I would much rather watch the game plan over the pacifier any day of the
Oh,
week.
come on. You don't want to see Vin Diesel with a fucking bandolier?
No, I actually don't want to see Vin Diesel.
With a bandolier of milk bottles?
No, I said what I said. I don't want to see
what I
Vin Diesel. I'm good.
Okay.
Like, I'm fine with hearing him seldomly.
Tomato, potato.
Like,
Say
I'll
Groot.
watch the Iron Giant. Good stuff. And people are like, he did such a great job. I'm like, yeah, I suppose. Did they need Vin Diesel to be the voice of the robot in the Iron Giant? No. No, they didn't. Did they need Vin Diesel to be the voice of Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy?
I think he,
No.
well, like
That
I'm
one-
not giving him any type of credence,
confused.
but there is several things out there that Vin Diesel is an uber fucking nerd.
Cool.
Like the
That
dude
doesn't mean
still-
he's made stuff that I like.
No, I get it. I just
Like,
he's more.
I saw Pitch Black in the movie theater. You know
Dude,
what else I did in the movie theater right after Pitch Black? I turned to my friends and I said, "Why the fuck did we watch Pitch Black?"
But
This movie is terrible.
I'm just trying to say, like, he's more akin to the type of stuff we're into, and yeah, pretty much that.
Well, you would think he'd have a better decision-making process in place then.
I don't know many nerds that make. Good
I remember being a teenager seeing Pitch Black and
Well-
legitimately thinking while watching that movie, like, oh, great job, everyone. Let's give the misogynist dickheads even more reason to complain about women in science fiction movies. And then they turned, what's her face, Katie Sackhoff, into just like another fucking, just like bimbo by the end of the movie. Dude, I hate that movie so much. It
See, I
wanted to
didn't
be,
even remember she was in that. Wow.
it wanted to be the
Neither
fucking,
did I.
it wanted to be the thing so fucking bad.
The thing with Chromavision.
Yeah. Like they keep locking onto us somehow. Oh, look at this. The 13-year-old boy is really a 13-year-old girl, and we'd be safe if it weren't for the fact that she has her period. Like, you fucking dickheads. Like that was just weak. It was. You couldn't have found another, like, have someone get a fucking, like, a foot lopped off and you're dragging them along and they're slowing you up and the blood is attracting them. That works. Do that. No, lean into some of the fucking worst tendencies of action / sci-fi movie fans. Please do that. Ugh. And then they made a sequel. Fucking Chronicles of Riddick. Ugh. The Chronicles of Riddick.
They're making
What,
it.
Ridiculous.
The Furians and learning about the Furians, and they probably shouldn't have gone with the placeholder name.
Fucking dumb. Whatever. Did you say they're making a third one, Steve?
I thought I heard something about
Yeah,
it.
they've been saying that for like fucking 18 years. I don't think it's happening anytime soon. Like, all three people clamoring
there's
for
a
it.
third one.
And is there a third one? Is it an animated one?
No, so there's Pitch Black,
Yeah.
The Chronicles of Riddick, and then just Riddick. So I think they're making a fourth one.
Oh, is there just Riddick? I don't see. That just goes to show how much I paid attention to cared. Vin Diesel.
Well, in other news,
Wonderful segue, Leo.
yeah, Kevin Smith is in the news.
I'm glad you put this on here.
Well, why don't you? Who put this?
Brandon put it on there, right?
Who put this in the news?
Probably me.
It was you.
Probably.
Yeah. Is it? I'm just making sure. Is it the thing about the movie?
About
he's doing?
SAG. Yeah.
Yeah. He's making a movie. I think it's called the 4:30 showing or the 4:30 show. And
4:30
it's
movie.
a 4:30 movie, and it's about I don't know if it's a guy or a couple of friends.
It's basically about him, because why else would he make a movie? No, I actually
okay. So you want to like do it then, Steve? I mean, I'm trying to talk about it, and you're jumping in like, well, it's this, and I didn't even finish a sentence. So go ahead, by all means.
Oh, there
No,
is an animated
go ahead
one.
now.
Just one of you go. Go for it,
Angela's
Steve.
right. There's a whole animated Chronicles of Riddick movie.
Yeah, I was right.
So they're going for a fifth one.
I guess so. He basically got a waiver to shoot this movie through SAG because you can get waivers to make a movie if you agree to the terms that SAG-AFTRA is looking for, especially since it's more so like a independent project.
Yeah, so what I was saying was it's about a group of guys who go to a 4:30 show and then skip around to watch other movies. So like there was no need to correct me. All I was saying was that, and I was getting to the other stuff. He applied for a waiver. It's awesome. He's such a low budget that it doesn't affect anything they're doing. One neat thing about it though is it's going to star his daughter's boyfriend. I mean, essentially, he's gonna marry Harley Quinn Smith. He was in Clerks 3. He played was it Silas?
Yeah.
He plays his Silent Bob. He was also the kid who got absorbed by the weird dumpy lady in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark in the mental hospital.
Oh, I remember that.
That's also the kid that he was in those shorts that he was making during the shutdown, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It was like something in law, lockdown in law, or something like that. But yeah, he's a funny kid. He's got a pretty good sense of humor, and Kevin Smith obviously likes him. So that could be a lot of fun. I feel like that's the kind of thing that falls right into the wheelhouse of what, you know, all of us like. I know Steve and I are like super into Kevin Smith stuff. I hope it feels more in line with like the earlier Kevin Smith than the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and beyond.
I didn't mean to cut you off on that whole thing. I had read a bunch of stuff about it, which is why I was trying to get my information.
I know, but like you corrected me with a point that didn't need to be corrected. I was trying to say like it's about a group of guys that hop around. You're like, oh, it's about him. I'm like, cool, go ahead then.
Oh no, I what I was trying to say was he had said that this main character was essentially him.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would imagine much like every movie he's done where there's like one guy, he's probably gonna have a best friend, even if it's a group, and it's gonna be primarily based on him and Walt Flanagan.
Yep.
Walt Flanagan was Randall. Walt Flanagan was Brody. And he was he was likely Banky as well. I would not be shocked.
I agree with you on the whole thing. Like I really do feel like he really doesn't have anything to do, or he has no inclination to make anything like story wise anymore. He likes doing stuff based off his own experiences now. Like,
well, I mean, that is a story though. You know, you can mine your own life for like, fun stories.
He had a completely different idea for Clerks 3 initially, remember? I remember hearing him talk about it, but after he had his heart attack, that's what Clerks 3 became.
Well, I mean, that makes sense regardless, because Clerks at its very core was an autobiographical story.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So I think it's going to be cool. I mean, and I think it's even cooler that like everybody our age is going to relate to this movie, because that's what I did growing up.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw Pitch Black, it was at the it was at I mean, just saying, like, it was at the $1.50 like second run movie theater in my city, which thankfully growing up was literally right down the street from me. I mean, of all places, it was right next to my local comic book shop. Oh, so I could literally go to New England Comics, buy a few issues of whatever, or whatever book I had my eye on and been saving my shekels for, and then go spend $1.50 and watch pretty much any of the movies they had running for the rest of the day. They had $1.50 Tuesdays, and it got to a point where, because it was like a nice air conditioned theater, you could spend $1.50 and fucking stay there all day, and they just didn't give a shit. They were cool about it. It was very much like a throwback to what movie theaters were way back. The kind of thing that I had heard my dad speak about when he was younger. Like, oh, I remember we used to spend, 25 cents and we could just stay in the theater all day. I mean, yeah, we might see the same cartoons and newsreels again, but it was like nice and cool. And if you had a few more cents, you could go get yourself a couple extra milk duds or whatever. And it was the same thing for me. It's an experience I don't think very many people can relate to nowadays. And I was very lucky, and I felt lucky even at that point in time. But we would go in and go to see like an 11 a.m. show, like the very first show of the day in the summertime, spend $1.50, and then watch like 3 other movies through the course of the day, just hanging out. I think I saw, oh my God, I must have seen The Fifth Element like 3 times in a row one day. That's how I saw that movie, was there 3 times in a row. It cost me $1.50. And I actually didn't plan on staying all day, but I liked the movie so much that I turned to my friend Will and I was like, hey man, you want to just like watch it again? He was like, yeah, fuck it, we got nothing else to do. So, I mean, we were like 12 or 13. What plans did we have? Our bikes were chained up outside. We were good. And there's something, and even then, like, we would spend $1.50, but we'd still go to the very back and open up the exit in the back of the building and let our friends who were waiting to come in, like, you want to let James in? What? He's not going to sneak in. You want to spend his $1.50 on sprees instead of the tickets? All right, I get it.
I haven't heard of those in a long time.
Spree.
Wow.
Well, we have 5 more stories. I'm going to try to see if we can get through them before 11. We'll see how that goes.
All right. All right. 2 minutes of topic. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So Disney Plus is going to start. Who had this story about Disney Plus? They're going to be forcing logins. Not like Netflix is limiting the amount of people you can log in.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, they're
what are they
like
doing
to
to?
your head. You need to log in now.
Yeah, I was wondering how they're enforcing
Watch.
it. Like, are they making
there's-
like everybody sign out and then sign back in?
They've been studying stuff the way Netflix did, and they're trying to figure out a way to do it fairly, but at the same time, they're also raising up their subscription prices. It's going to be going from, back in the day, the ad-free Disney Plus was $7.99, and on October 12th, it's going to go up to $13.99.
Whoa!
So
Might be time to get rid of Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Hulu is also going to go up from $14.99 to $17.99, but if you get them together, starting on September 6th, it'll only be $19.99 for both if you do the bundle. But they're following the Netflix model, and Netflix has gone up.
I had a separate Disney Plus account, and I had Hulu Live before that. And then, Disney bought Fox and therefore has majority shares in Hulu. And as it turns out, because of like Hulu Live, I had Disney Plus as part of it, but I couldn't make use of it until my subscription ran out. My subscription for Disney Plus was a 3-year subscription, because when I got it, it was right when it was first coming out, and you could get a 3-year sub for $129, and that was a fucking steal. So I was like, I will spend the money, please and thank you. And then the 3 years ran out, and I was like, well, it says I have Disney Plus with Hulu, and so I contacted them. I'm like, yeah, hey, here's my shit, and they were like, yep, you're all set. I was like, hold on, that was like 3 seconds. What do you mean I'm all set? They're like, yeah, no, you're set. It's the same thing. You're good. I'm like, really? Oh, well, I'm so used to dealing with like Comcast and their bullshit and what have you. So, well, thank you. You have a lovely day. And that was that. So I had already been paying for what the service was included. And, now Hulu has become like my main deal. So, at this point, like, okay, raise the price of $2 or whatever, because I'm not getting rid of it. Now that they have unlimited DVR, wonderful.
I just normally wait until Black Friday.
Yeah, basically, if you
Sign up with
want
the
to have them, you might as well get the dual for $19.99 on September 6th, because otherwise you're going to be paying a lot.
Just wait until Black Friday.
That kind of stuff.
I have both. I pay $5.
Nice.
I got it.
I just hope they...
I got Verizon.
See, that's what we have the shared plan through the family, but obviously that's not going to work anymore for any of those channels. I'm assuming that since Netflix and now Disney, it's going to be the same way everywhere across. I think the only thing you can keep sharing across households currently is Prime. But
Yeah,
who knows when they're going to do that?
It's like better than just a cable system, because it's
I can't afford to get
creeping towards just the same thing we were doing before.
Well, but now we have choice. We can say, hey, you're going to charge us this much. You know what? Yeah, a la carte.
Yeah, that is true. You couldn't just pick and choose. It was a package, no matter what you were doing with cable. Whereas if you don't want HBO Max or Max, then don't get Max. You don't want.
Then when you
Amazon
have
Prime?
specific shows on things, like the social pressure to actually watch these shows, like.
Well, that's the stuff you have to take into account. Unfortunately,
I think
that's where the
new monster.
Well, that's where the studios got you by the short hairs, and quite frankly, I mean, even in that regard, they're starting to see honestly, I think that Warner Brothers, as much as people like to make weird bitches and complaints about stuff that they've been doing, they actually have the right idea by saying, yeah, we should be making stuff to put elsewhere, because it's very strange, really, if you're not anybody that's in the know, like a lot of us dorks are. What's the difference between a Paramount show and a Warner Brothers show?
Star Trek.
No, nothing. There's no fucking difference whatsoever. Like, people who are normies, they don't give a shit. They don't know any of that stuff. So to force them into this weird tunnel where they all of a sudden have to identify who makes what, like who produces what, that's a whole different animal altogether. And to take a character like Batman, they're doing Batman Caped Crusader. It was going to be an HBO Max original, and they said, instead of that, we're gonna sell it to Amazon and let them produce it, like pay the money to get it produced, and we're gonna collect the money from licensing the character. And it opens that up to a much wider audience than if they just kept it specific to their one streaming service. Like, oh, is this enough to get people to join our streaming service? Or why not put it on something that a lot of people actually already have and will still make revenue from it? And then we don't have to worry about the production cost because somebody else has taken that on. That's good business. And I think the more you get into specifics that aren't like original things made on those platforms, like that, like, oh, this is definitely an HBO show, kind of deal. People are going to be very, very put out by it. And that's where you're seeing that a la carte thing come into play more and more. Disney, their whole deal right now is they just lost a shitload of subscribers in the UK and across South Asia. I mean, a lot. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that they really don't have a whole hell of a lot to offer at this point. Their shows have not been hitting well. Marvel Studios has not been making the best moves altogether. Honestly, I really don't fucking care about Ahsoka coming out. I would love to care, but I don't. The Mandalorian, as much as I enjoy it, the shininess is wearing off, and I don't know that that's gonna make it past a 4th season, especially with the strike occurring now, because it's gonna gum up everything.
Well, also with them upping prices and people's, wallets getting a lot tighter, it's these companies are going to end up losing, a lot more subscribers as they go along.
Oh yeah.
I'm wondering if the strike is going to ask for people to ever boycott one of these streaming services.
Well, here's the thing too. I mean, once the strike is over, the prices are going to go up again because the shareholders are going to want to keep their profit margins, and they're going to artificially inflate the price to continue making the money that they want to make. And it's all going to be, done under the guise like, oh, see, if they hadn't said they need to get all this money, we wouldn't have had to do this. It's like, or you could just not pay out fucking bonuses of like $30 million fucking dollars to yourself. How about that?
But my yacht needs a yacht.
Yeah,
a super yacht.
Super yacht, yeah.
My yacht gets lonely sitting
Listen,
on the dock.
if I don't make that money, then how am I gonna buy a yacht big enough to fit my yacht on?
The fact that they're doing this, they're right when everybody's
Little
on strike.
yacht.
I know it's probably somewhat coincidental, but so that they're making yet more money off of the people who currently are striking is just silly. But Netflix did it, and they just in their past quarter grew 8% with 5 million new subscribers. So
Let's just see how Netflix is doing once Stranger Things wraps up.
That's true. They don't have much.
See there.
Well,
I guess, but
they do have much. They just keep on canceling everything.
Yeah.
Well, the only things that they haven't canceled are like Karate Kid and
which is wrapping
Stranger
up.
Things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lincoln Lawyer is going on right now. That's really good.
Is it?
Hey, everyone except Leo, who's watched The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix? Hey, no one here except Leo.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Sorry.
But like, it might very well be good, but I don't care. Like, I barely liked the movie that Matthew McConaughey was in. I'm not hard pressed to check out a show, honestly. I mean,
all right.
It's few and far between that I throw on Netflix and I'm like, ooh, like I really want to check this out. Like, the new season of The Witcher came out, and I have yet
I heard it was dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the feeling I got, and that's without having seen anything about it. I was just like, why do I want to really get invested in this? I mean, Henry Cavill was really good as the character. I enjoyed what they were doing with him. What he was clearly having fun as much as he could, and he left the series. I mean, in considering how passionate he was about it, that should tell you something right there. So why set myself up for a fall? And also, I think, as much as I like Chris Hemsworth and his brother Luke Hemsworth, I just don't get the appeal of Liam Hemsworth. I struggle with it. I don't find him very charismatic or anything. He actually strikes me as more of like a charisma black hole. And I could be wrong. He could be an absolutely lovely and charming guy, but he's never struck me as such. And it's so weird to see his lanky ass taking over the role for Henry Cavill. Like, explain that one. I can't. I would love to find out how they write that one away.
By saving money.
Yeah, I meant in universe, but sure.
So it's
that show Brandon doesn't care about.
There's an apprentice.
What was the Ahsoka news?
The Ahsoka news was that Disney Plus subscribers are going to get special access to Star Wars Ahsoka merchandise. And so
you can buy shit.
Yeah, give us your money.
This was for Leo.
Yeah.
When the Star Wars series kicks off on August 23rd, Disney Plus subscribers will be able to purchase some cool items before the general public. You go over to the page and you scan a QR code and stuff, and then you actually get a hold of things such as the Ahsoka Light Legacy Saber set and some fluffy ears and some other fun stuff. But if you are Disney Plus, you get special access. So
fuck yeah,
go in there, and it's and some of it is
Netflix
first come
do
first
something
serve,
like
and they
that, too?
only produce a certain amount of it. So
Oh, that
if you
means
get
all
in
the
there-
scalpers are gonna get it. You know.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Then you can go on eBay and buy it for 5 times the price.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
I'm totally not going to do that, by the way. I'm not going to. I will only charge 4 times the price
do it.
because I am benevolent.
Ooh, first order stormtrooper voice changing helmet for $99.99.
Oh, only.
Voice
Yeah.
changing helmet. I
Oh.
bought one of those for my kids back in the day. They were only $20. It was
For
Darth
sure,
Vader,
I
too.
can buy that effect
Had
for when
to
I use my microphone, so I'm good.
You
For
can get the Ahsoka Tano Legacy lightsaber hilts for $250.
Did you
thought
say
it was
Ahsoka
Tano.
Tana?
Yeah, I was like, that's
Tano.
Tano. I won a Millennium Falcon by saying that name. I did. Ahsoka Tano.
I'm sorry,
Ooh.
Dawson is going to be acting in the role.
Oh, you can pre-order the retro collection. Why did I go here?
See,
See,
I don't know.
Yeah,
Stop.
you shouldn't have.
Karen, do you get a share of the funds?
Let's see if we
that
can go through these 5 topics by 11 o'clock. Let me look at this Star Wars shit real quick.
Oh, Star Wars.
It's okay, sweetie.
It's a retro collection.
It's a trap.
Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
Oh, stop right there.
Oh my God, go back up.
Rock.
Was that back up one more? Not Akbar. They do. That's one of the now it's worth a lot of money. The Return of the Jedi, they're not the guard, but the other
That guy?
thing. Yeah.
Yak Face?
Yak Face.
He's worth money?
The original one.
Ooh,
is
I might
worth
have
a
him
lot
in a
of money.
box.
Even out of off card, this guy is worth.
Pay for your
He's
new
like one
keyboard.
of those last 13 that were put out.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
ridiculous.
I need to go do some digging.
Don't let them end a Star Wars. If they should bar wars, please let these Star Wars stay.
Well, so speaking of things worth money, how about a $2 million
Oh my
magic
God.
Oh my
card?
God. There's a video. The video
Yeah.
I
I
heard about this.
Crazy.
So this was insane. I used to play Magic, and
You
I talked with Brand about this, but Post Malone spent over $2 million on this card, and the thing is they released a Legend of the Rings series, and they decided that with the One Ring, they weren't just going to make a card; they were going to make a 001 of 001 printed edition that they released randomly in the packs. They sent worldwide, and so if some little kid had opened it and just stuck his gum on it, it would have been just completely and utterly destroyed. People were advertising, like offering $2 million before it ever came out. Like, if you find the card, we will buy it from you for this much. And the person who opened it is a huge Post Malone fan. And since he last June dropped $800,000 on a Black Lotus from Alpha Edition, it was an artist print signed by the now dead artist. They were like, "Oh, I want him to buy it," and he bought it. And as he was saying, they have a whole video and stuff of him, like, his
So
fan
confused.
buying the card and everything. But it was only rated a 9.
I love collectibles,
Even though
but
he-
I'm
I
like,
wonder what kind of magic cards he had in his deck when he was pre-Malone.
Oh.
The problem with this, though, is that now that they've done it, they're thinking of doing it again. So there's going to be more people coming. It's like, oh, look, somebody bought it. So Post Malone in the past year has spent, they said, because they judged it between 2.2 to 2.6 million. Nobody disclosed it, but that's what he'd been offered by other people. So he spent like $3 million on 2 cards. The first one is useful. The second one, not so fucking much. But it's pretty.
One ring to swindle them all.
Can you imagine playing a fucking game of Magic with Post Malone and him being like, "Hey"?
I mean, considering he has the thing in like a fucking protective case, I'd be like, dude, you have that in your deck. You're gonna use it against me. What are you talking about? And every other card is like normal, and you can clearly see the case right in the middle of the deck. Like, dude, I can see the card. What are you talking about? You can't tell which card it is. Right, Post. I can't tell what card it is. Wink.
It's written on your face.
They did actually release a normal version of the card as well, and the artwork is very different and stuff. But it's kind of a useless card, in my opinion. As a player,
$2 million. I don't understand.
I thought it was 3, but that's why I put the 3 up, but I was wrong.
Well, it was two had been offered, and then they were suggesting 2.6. They have not released like the contracted amount yet. As far I've been looking for over a week.
Doesn't do drugs, doesn't. So let him spend his money on stuff like that.
Hey, it's his money. He can spend it on whatever he wants.
It's just that if they're going to do this with everything, then it's going to be like, oh, you can't like let your kids go out and buy the cards. You have to open each pack to see them, just in case, and people are going to be going out buying it like a fucking lottery ticket in Magic. And
what it's
that's
worth,
kind of insane.
The One Ring card is pretty fucking legit, though.
Really? I didn't.
When the One Ring enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn.
For 1 round.
So basically, my understanding of that is you can cast it at any time and you don't take any damage. But the thing is you can sacrifice 1 life to put it back into your deck.
And that 1 life is your sex life.
Well, there's the burden counter, but it just seemed like it's useful for 1 round, and I don't see it as being something that I play.
Depends on how much you want to let it corrupt you, I guess.
Let me tap all my water mana here, and I will play the One Ring and the Cloak of Perpetual Virginity.
Oh, haha!
Stuck on that, normies.
You know what? I looked at the burden counter. I read it quickly. I thought that it was implying that you could put it back in your deck and play it again. It's only playable once. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. Okay. I was right.
So moving on, we have 2 more stories left. Legends is available on YouTube.
Star Wars bar. Can you believe all the creatures in there?
Was that I'm not lying. Like, I meant to watch Legends. I'm just double checking. Legends was kind of the behind the scenes of a lot of the characters.
Yeah,
right?
it's 3 to 8 minute clips.
Okay.
Or little backstories and stuff, and they're moving them all over for free onto YouTube, so that you don't actually have to subscribe to Disney Plus to see 3-minute videos.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, so it's 3-minute.
That's so awesome that they're moving it to YouTube so I can continue to not watch a single fucking one of them. I didn't care when they were on Disney Plus. You know what I mean? I think I saw something like they're moving all of them, and I was like, oh man.
Anyways,
it's just
if I had
movies.
ever watched any of that or planned on it, I might be kind of moved or upset. But as it is, I'm familiar with seeing behind the scenes clips. And I don't need a first look on a movie that came out 5 years ago. So thanks for that, Legends. Whatever. You know what? I'd be interested to see the one they have on Iron Man 2. Show me a lot of footage of Mickey Rourke behind the scenes of that movie. Show me Iron Man 1, where Terrence Howard is talking about how he's excited how they're going to be expanding his character in the next movie. That would be worth it to me.
Oh, it just caught up.
Yeah.
So what's up with Century?
Apparently they're going to be making a limited like mini series, and it's like the Century's gonna die, but somehow it's gonna give way to several people who have Century-like abilities, calling themselves the Centuries or El Centuries, if you're saying it in Spanish.
Are they also going to have the void, or is this?
I guess they would be the voids. You have to avoid the void.
So the official description: the crew of an unloved franchise movie fight for their place in a savage and an unruly cinematic universe. The franchise shines a light on the secret chaos inside the world of superhero movie making to ask the question, how exactly does a cinematic sausage get made? Because every fuck up has an origin story.
Cinematic sausage.
That was Sylvester Stallone's nickname before he made Rocky. I don't know if you're aware of this, but the first movie he was in was a porn.
And his name is the Italian Stallion.
Called Party at Kitty and Studs. And after Rocky came out, they changed the name to cash in on his popularity, and the name of it was changed to the Italian Stallion.
I don't know.
And funny enough, I can tell you that if you've ever seen any part of that movie where Sylvester Stallone is fully naked, frontal nudity, there's no doubt that he was not Jewish.
Good to know.
You just can't turn it off.
Didn't care. But...
There's only so much I can do with an elastic band on camera, you know.
What the fuck?
Okay, we're gonna end on that note.
That's great.
That's a great note.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Okay, we'll wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening, and just try to wipe the last 2 minutes out of your brain.
2 hours.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Yeah.
You know me forever.
Head on over to thedorkening.com. You can learn more there, and I do a bunch of stuff during the week. Along with Midweek Geeks, we do the Dork Night, and Brandon's going to tell you about some other stuff as well, and also splash pages. And we'll throw it over to Kari.
Hey, everybody. When I am not here hanging out with these lovely gents, I am over on the Owl Light Network doing some other podcasts with them. Big Night is our Sunday night. Thank Cthulhu it's Sunday. We do a rotating show that's depending on who we can get as our guest, but they're all based on storytelling. And you can just look me up on Facebook at Kari Sanders, and all of my links are there.
Awesome.
You see the crow, you know it's me.
The McMonster.
Oh, hey, look at this. We have business cards. Nerds of Unusual Origin podcast comes out every Wednesday. We just got back from a month-long break, and we're stacking up guests left and right. We have fun. We have beer. We have banter. It is great. Come check us out. And
Power Brandon.
To be clear, what I meant is that Sylvester Stallone is uncircumcised. That's.
Thanks for the clarification.
I wasn't letting that go, Leo. I'm refreshing everybody's memory immediately.
Got to be more specific next time.
Yeah. I just want to make sure everybody got it. Don't want to leave anybody out of the fun. I'm Powerful Brandon. As Leo said, we do the Dork Night podcast, but also in conjunction with that, we do Comics Paradox, in which we discuss different alternate reality takes and tales, such as DC's Elseworlds or Marvel's What Ifs. Also story arcs and storylines like Age of Apocalypse from X-Men, Tangent Comics from DC, eventually like series like Exiles, Mutant X, you name it, we're going to get to it. Recently, we just did Wanted by Mark Miller, and that was an interesting one. That's the next one coming up. So, keep your eyes peeled and your ears open, kids. And that drops every other Sunday, sharing space with the Dork Night. So you get Comics Paradox one Sunday, Dork Night the next. If you feel so inclined, follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram at This Brandon Has Powers. And you can check out Comics Paradox Podcast on Instagram as well. If you want to come over to Facebook and check out the Powers Combined Facebook group, we're just a consortium of dorks that like to share info, news, memes, good times and laughs to be had by all. Our number one rule there is don't be a jerk. You violate that, you'll get booted. insofar as everything that we've listed, the Dork Night, Comics Paradox, you can check those out wherever fine podcast or broadcast.
Awesome. Yo.
They say the shortest for last. Yo Saint Laurent on Instagram and Threads. Hey.
What the fuck? Is Jeremy just chopped
Glad
liver?
you just forgot about me. Thanks, Yo-Yo. Cool. No, Yo-Yo.
I feel awful now.
Jeremy, in everyone's defense, they're still reeling from the news that Sylvester Stallone is uncircumcised.
I understand now.
That completely.
Check out Splash Pages on Tuesdays nights at 8, Wednesday nights at 9. Check out this show. Check out Comic Book Lovers Buy, Sell, Trade, and Auction House over on Facebook if you'd like to buy, sell, trade, or auction any of your geek stuff. And I need more friends on Facebook, so find me there as Jeremy Courtney.
Awesome. And next weekend we'll be in Maryland.
Oh yeah, Maryland. And I have a card too.
Whoa.
I have a box of Sudafed. I can hold up.
Or just
I have a Kari.
Ooh, look at that nose.
Everybody grab whatever's to your left.
Ooh.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, we'll
I'll trade you a cat for
Sylvester Stallone is uncircumcised. Bye, everybody.